Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth. You know it's a Tuesday. You know it's going to be a highly approachable puzzle from the folks over at FullDeck and Missing a Few Cards. Now, this is the branch of puzzles that these guys have released. I say guys, it could be gals, guys. It'll be essentially, it's all genders here. This is essentially the series of puzzles that are almost like pre-gas. So the idea is to think of Brassica vegetables, so, cabbage, cauliflower, mustard, essentially all of these things that tend to produce gas in one's body. And this is essentially what you're consuming just before you get to that gas. Anyway, that's a long way of saying this is meant to be the much more approachable series of puzzles than gas that hopefully will introduce many of you, if you haven't come across them, to Sudoku variant puzzles. Now, that's enough of an introduction. And just a very quick note about the thumbnail. You can very much see it is based on the title of this, which is Brassica, dots, and a thermometer. And here we've got a bunch of cabbages, a thermometer stuck together. I don't know why you would measure the temperature of a bunch of them in a bowl, but that's what we're doing today. So let's take a look at the puzzle. We have Brassica, dots, and a thermo. It's a puzzle from FullDeck and Missing a Few Cards, like I said already. We've got the following set of rules. Normal Sudoku rules, so that means the digits 1 to 9 in every row, in every column, and every 3x3 box. Fairly standard. We also have the usual Kropki dot constraint. So Kropki dots are cells separated by a white dot, such as this one, have to be consecutive. So we've got a 6 in here. This can only be 5 or 7. This can only be 5 or 7 because it needs to be consecutive with the 6. The other possible Kropki dot is a black one. And a black dot is one cell must be the double of the other. So if we take this 4, for example, this would have to be either a 2, to get 2 times 2 is 4, or an 8. 4 times 2 is 8. So that's really the way to interpret Kropki dots. Then lastly we have, and this is the first time we're introducing them on this series, thermometers. Last week's was all about Kropki dots. Today we're adding just one more new Sudoku rule variant, which is thermometers. So the digits on the thermometer increase from the bulb to the tip, but do not have to be consecutive. So essentially what this is saying is this is the bulb end of the thermometer. Go back to the thumbnail, you'll see a thermometer. You'll remember that thermometers have the lower digits, the colder temperature towards the bulb end. So let's say that could be a 1. And then the next one has to be higher, as in a higher digit, a higher temperature. That could be a 2, for example. And as confirmed in here, they do not have to be consecutives. So this did not have to be a 2. This could be a 3, a 4. It almost doesn't matter as long as it's increasing from the bulb end to the tip. That's all the variants. So you're welcome to play along with the link in the description down below. And with that said, let me restart the clock and see how I get on. Now, you're almost spoiled for choice with this puzzle in terms of where you can go. I'm going to just mention very briefly something about black Kropki dots, and you're going to see how very quickly this puzzle can fall. So the way to think about Kropki dots is they are essentially 3 sets of digits. There is this set which is essentially a power of 2. 1, and then 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times 4 is 8. That's one set of digits that can go on a black Kropki dot. And obviously you can pick any 2 adjacent cells, such as the 1 and 2, and put them on here. Or the 2 and 4, and put them there, or the 4 and 8. Now, fairly obvious, you're not going to be able to skip a digit and do 8 and 2. That's not multiplying by 2. Now, the other possibility is a 3 and a 6. But you'll notice I can't divide the 3 by 2. I mean, I can, but I'll only get 1.5. I can't even write this in the software. So, and it's not an integer number, that's not an option. The other one would be essentially saying 6 times 2, that would be 12. Now, clearly under normal Sudoku rules, That's not an allowed digit. So the only real option is a 3 and a 6 in this set. So that's set 1, that's set 2. The last set is the set that is not allowed on a black Kropke dot, which is 5, 7, and 9. And essentially, if you multiply any of these by 2 or divide them by 2, if you divide them by 2, you're going to get a non-integer number. So 5 over 2, that's 2.5. Can't even write that. 3.5, 4.5. And if you multiply them by 2, you're getting more than a single digit. That would be 10, 14, 18, none of which is allowed, and therefore these can never be on a black Kropke dot. Now, the important thing to remember about black Kropke dots is essentially this set is not allowed. This set is only 2 digits. So whenever you have a run of black Kropke dots that are more than 2, you know that it's not 3, 6. You know it has to be from the 1, 2, 4, 8 set. Now, with all of that introduction, let's do a few quick ones. This 6 here can only be joined with a 3. Got the 2, 3, that's fine. In the introduction, I talked about the 5, 7 pair. In the introduction, I talked about the fact that this is 2 or 8, but we've got a 2 in the same box. So this is an 8. And take a look at this series of black Kropke dots. That 8 is a 4. Can't be, this is 2 or 8, can't be an 8. That's a 2. This is 1 or 4, can't be a 4. This is a 1. This 2, this is 1 or 4, can't be a 4 because it's in the same row. That's a 1. 1 can only go with a 2. Again, looking at the same column, we've got a run of 3, that's a 4. This 2 here has to be the 4 because the 1 is already used in the box. Again, that's another run of 3. The 6, that's another 5, 7 in essence. And then the last remaining set is 3 and 9 to complete row 1. This 3 tells us where the 3 would go in row 1. It can only be in here. That's the 9. And we've basically solved all of box 2 except this one cell, which can only be a 1. This can be 3 or 5. Again, we've got a 3 in the box. That's a 5. Therefore, that's a 7, 8, 9. Nice run of white Kropke dots. This is a 3 because we already placed the 1. Has to be consecutive with the 2. This is either 5 or 7. It's actually not resolved. Although this is the 7. Excuse me. This is the 5. And we've got 5, 7. So if this is a 5, we're in trouble. Because the next up would be 4 or 6. And we've already placed a 4 and we've already placed a 6. So this has to be the 7. The 8, the 9, and a 5 in here. And you can see, you know, this lovely thermometer was already solved. It's 1, 2, 4, 8. You could have essentially started the puzzle here because you know that this is a run of 1, 2, 4, 8. And essentially, because we've got the bulb end at this side, you know that's the side that's the 1. You know that's the side that's the 8. And you can just fill it all in. We've got another run in here. This is 2, 4, 8 because the 1 is already occupied in the column. So that's the 4, that's 2, 8. The fact that this is adjacent to the 7 tells me that's an 8, that's the 2. This is 7 or 9, we've got a 9 in the column, that's the 7. And then to finish the column, that's the 3. 3 and 6 already used. So think again about this black Kropke dot. Which set is it? It's either the 3, 6 set or the 1, 2, 4, 8 set. It's not the 3, 6 set, we've used it in this box. It's the 1, 2, 4, 8 set. Take a look at the top of the column. We've already got a 2. So it can't be the 2 in here. And because it can't be the 2, it can't be the 1. The 1 it has to be put in with a 2. So this is 4 and 8. 7, 6, that's got to be a 5. That's got to be a 3. We need 1 and 9 in here. I don't think we know the order of that just yet. We know that this has to be the 1. If this is 8, we're in trouble because both 9 and 7 are already in there. So that's the 4, that's the 8, that's the 5, which helps us connect to the 6. This could be 5 or 7. Check the column. The 7 tells us that's a 5. And that's 2 to finish this box. Let's keep on going. 7, 6, 5. You can see, again, whenever you have these runs, they're very helpful. We've got another run in here. The 7 tells us that it's descending, not ascending. So that's 5, 4. This is not 3, 6. We've placed it. This is not 4, 8. We've placed the 4. This can only be 1 and 2. This 1 tells us the order. That's the 1. That's the 2. This has to be a 3 because we've already placed the 1 in the column. Lastly in here, that's a 9. That's an 8. Lovely. This 1 tells us that's the 9. That's the 1. We have an 8 and a 9 in here to complete row 4. 9 and 8 up there tells us the order. 9 and 8. This is 1 and 2. Don't know the order. Nothing in the column tells us what it is to finish this box. Although this 3 has a white crop dot. Clearly, 1 is not consecutive with the 3. That's a 2. That's a 1. Let's continue this consecutive part. That's the 4. This can be 2 or 8. Check the column. That's an 8. Therefore, that's a 2. This 6 can only be joint with a 3. This is 5 or 7. We place the 5. 7. 1 to finish the column. 8, 9 again. Already have them in the row to tell us the order. 9, 8. This can't be back up to 9 again. That's the reason we've already placed the 8. So that's 7. Black crop dots and white crop dots. Well, we've got actually 6, 5. This has to descend. That's 4. Can't be an 8. We've got it in the row. That's a 2. In the column, we need 9 to finish it. This has to be an 8 to be adjacent to the 9. And then the last digit, if I've not made any mistakes, is the 1. And that's the solution to this puzzle. I really do hope that newcomers that are new to Sudoku variants, that you continue to enjoy this series. And for the regular viewers, this is a lovely just start, nice quick puzzle for the rest of the week. Hope you enjoyed it and see you back for the next video. Bye for now.